So, good evening, and welcome along to another big music show here on NVTV. Coming up on the show this week, we'll have some great live music from singer-songwriters Dean Maywood and Shannon Weatherup. But starting things off, you may remember this young man from X Factor. He's back. Here's Phillip Magee. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, Robin. Very good.
A lot of people will still remember you from X Factor, which is something, when you do those shows, you can never really shake off. How many years was it now since X Factor?
13 years, and it'll be ingrained in my headstone. 13 years and counting.
Were you glad you did it?
I am now, looking back on it. I just wish I've had the sort of life experience and, knowledge that I have now at the time, because, I was very young, and it was like a rabbit caught in the headlight. I wasn't ready for all the craziness that went along with it. It was just crazy. It really was. It was exciting and everything else, but I think unless you have a background of performing or performing arts, or in front of us in the spotlight they got there, it's daunting. And I hadn't sung professionally before, bar about a karaoke at the time.
Right. So
it was all very new to me, but it was great. It was good too. It was exciting.
And did you come from a musical family?
Both of my parents could sing. Mm-hmm. My dad had a great voice. My dad had a great, old-fashioned belting voice, and my mum could sing a wee bit too, but she would have been a wee bit sort of shy about it, And then there was a lot of musicians on my mum's side anyway, with in the traditional Irish sort of scene, mm-hmm. and it sort of spawned from that, shall we say. And she was really brought up in the whole show band era, and a lot of the country singers, like the great Big Tom that passed away recently. She adored him.
Yes,
She literally was his biggest fan. So that's where it really spawned from. With me.
Was that what you were listening to growing up then as well?
I grew up really listening to Big Tom and mimicking him. So I did, and my wee brother was on the biscuit barrels, and I had an old bat made into a guitar that kind of, with the wee rose that Big Tom had in his guitar. Looking back on it, they were great memories, and that's really where it's born from. It was always played in the house. Always. It was always a radio on, or out cassettes, maybe the out cassettes before the CD. So that's basically what it was, But it's always been there. Always been there.
So then obviously X Factor came along and you were introduced to this kind of pop music world.
Yeah.
Which you weren't really ready for, were you?
Well, I kind of got into pop music in the late 90s when I was in school, and the time of your Westlifes and all that sort of stuff. There was a lot of good music came out of those late 90s, Backstreet Boys and all that sort of stuff. And then you had your Pop Idol.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I was always working in hotels, and I did a lot of catering work and things like that at the time in school. And then there was a local guy, Keith Simple, who applied and got through to the Pop Stars, the Rivals final, and he got into the boy band. Mm-hmm. So that was okay. In the back of my mind, wasn't not in a cockier way, but I always says to myself that I can do it. Yeah. I'm going to do it.
Yes.
But in the back of my mind, it was just a thought that just, and I think I applied for Pop Idol whenever I was like 16 or 17, and I got through to. It was just a different structure of audition thing, and I did all right. And I can't really remember much. I remember wearing a stupid blue shirt with a white collar and a really bad buzz haircut. It was awful. And then it was the following year, I think I did the X Factor. It was the second year of the X Factor, and I never got watching the first. It was actually somebody who told me who heard me singing in a bar. Not professionally, just says, can I borrow your guitar, and sung something like Johnny Be Good or something. Yeah. And somebody had says, why don't you go up and why don't you audition for the X Factor? And I was in work that day of the audition. I was actually in work, I wasn't going to go.
Yeah.
And it was just this wee niggling thought in my head, should I not. And then I wasn't driving at the time. I asked my dad, would you take me to Belfast? And he was free, thank God. And he took me up to Belfast and dropped me off. But this stage, the queue was like 3 blocks. Yeah. Away, and I kind of got burnt stupid. I waited 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah.
And did my audition. And it's funny, I keep saying this story to people. We were in this big room, right? Before they send you off into these wee different tiny audition rooms. And there was about 12 people, and I was the last in that queue. Mm-hmm. and not one of them got through. Can you believe that? So by the time I got into my audition, it kind of, I didn't have much hope for myself, in fairness, you know. So.
And a lot of people now, when you look at the show, have got management and stuff already that kind of fast tracks them through. But you didn't. You actually went and auditioned, pure talent, and got on straight like that, didn't you?
I don't know about pure talent, but I knew I could sing. But the whole crazy, the whole nerve thing of it, it was very hard to sort of. It was nerve-wracking. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't really have the experience for that.
But you did all right on the show.
I did well. No, I did very good. I just basically did what I always did, you know. And once I got to the live shows, I kind of crumbled a wee bit. I don't think personally I was ready. It's all part of growing up. It really is. The appearances started to, in fairness, dry up. You know, and off that X Factor thing, you're like a cartoon character for a long time. And then I joined a corporate band for about 3 years, and we did a lot of corporate stuff and weddings and things like that there. I'm talking probably 10 years ago, and that was great. But it became a job. It was the same set, same routine. You know, you were the paid act, you know, for the evening and stuff, and I enjoyed it. But the buzz kind of wore off. And then I took a break. There was different things that happened in my life, you know, that kind of mentally sort of played there, you know. Yeah. I went through a very dark road for a while. Dark as in personality change, loss of interest in things that I used to do, you know. Lost my brother 11 years past, and then a second brother less than 2 years after that. So I kind of worked and gigged and worked, and I kind of done that for 3 years, and then I kind of literally just came to I broke down. I didn't realise I broke down, anxiety attacks. And if anybody's ever had anxiety, I would never wish it upon anybody. It's horrible. And I suffered that for a long time, and it took away my personality. Yeah. And then I literally gave up the band. I gave up singing. Literally, I never even done karaoke, nothing for about 8 years. And the itch was always there. It was always in the background. And I made a conscious decision to maybe go down the route of a wee bit of professional guidance. Yeah. Both in my private life, with the bereavements, and my father then passed away 6 years ago. There, passed there in the summertime. So the last 10 years of my life, I could write a book, but I had dealt with that sort of side of it and kind of got onto the track again of trying to be happy and be positive, and then I got the itch to sing again. And I went to a lady in Bangor, a lovely lady, a brilliant personality, and Linda Snell. And I spent 5 years with Linda, and she basically kicked me up the backside and rearranged me in a lot of different ways, you know. And in the last year, really, it's basically I've kind of come out of the hibernation sort of stage. 8 years I think it was, and started recording. And just went back to basics, you know, and it was mostly country. Yeah. So the country scene, I kind of was watching the parade pass by for a long time. Whenever I was the one that was singing country.
Because you probably could have done the Nathan Carter thing before Nathan was even heard of here.
I was doing country before any of those ones were doing it, and everyone laughed at me. I wanted to put a country band on the road. Are you serious? You want to sell your soul? Are you serious? some of these guys, you know, on the road played in these groups, and I says, yeah, I do. I want to put a country show together, but I didn't have the back end. It takes a lot of resources to get that sort of thing going, and at the time, country was not cool. So anybody taking, like Nathan, somebody took a chance on Nathan and invested into that, and people were talking about it. Oh, they've invested this and they've done this and blah blah blah, but it paid off, and it spawned a whole new generation of what the show band era was 20, 30, 40 years ago, you know.
So are we going to see this relaunch from you now? Are you going to appear with a big bang and go out there and do it?
That's the plan. That's the plan, Rob. And you know, doing this here with yourself and all is great. It's great for, you know. Has this
been difficult to come back into a TV studio and do this?
This is the first time I've done an interview, literally since the end of the X Factor thing. Yeah. I had a few over the phone interviews from newspapers, you know, way back 8-9 years ago with the X Factor. You know, do you think Janet Devlin's going to win and all this? I think that was the last time I got a phone call, but I haven't done anything on a camera in 11, 12 years.
So I know you've been in the studio recently, you've been recording away, you've been putting stuff up on social media, like for instance the cover of Word Up that you did recently. Yes. Who would have thought that could be countrified? And you did it.
I spent a bit of time on that song. That's the fourth one I've put out now. I've been doing mostly country covers, but that was the first one that kind of ventured away from the normal country thing. I kind of you've heard it.
I've heard it. It's
different. It's got a rock.
Yeah.
It's got a combination of it. What did I class it as? Celtic, rockabilly, funk.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
There's no such thing. You know? And to be honest with you, there is no market for it. It's just something I thought I could do and put it out there. And there's a bit of Irish dancing in it, and there's, you know, I take the shirt and all off and make a fool of myself. And you know something? Why not?
Yeah.
It's all life's about having fun and taking chances and just letting your hair down. There's too many serious people and too many serious things going on in the world now. That's really where the idea came from. I didn't really care. People were going. The feedback was great.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a couple of people going, "Flip me, Phillip, what are you doing? What are you doing?" You know. But that's it's something it worked. I think it worked.
So if anybody's watching this and saying, "When can we get our hands on Phillip's new album? When can we go and see him on tour?" What do you tell them?
At the moment, I'm taking baby steps. These things do take time and they do take certain resources. And at the minute, I've just been basically doing it solely on my own. There's been no management. It's just purely an experimental stage in my life at the moment. And the feedback's been very positive. I'm proud of what I've been doing and stuff, you know. So hopefully soon. Yeah. Hopefully soon. I'm hoping to get the album out. That album needs to go out at some stage, but I want it to be it'll be a tight album. There'll be a bit of everything in it for a lot of people.
Brilliant, Phillip. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Never been to Eden, washed up by the shore. I'm afraid of getting there and still craving more. Watching as the sun sets high up on the hills, kaleidoscope of fiery skies to a place that once had sinned. And your eyes light up my heart just like the sun. And the way you say my name, oh, you've won. We know now we weren't meant to stay in this little grey town. Always dreamt of Eden, pure as light can be. Watch the birds and plants that bloom in a place of harmony. Stare into your pupils and watch the world pass by. Temptation strong, but we know it's wrong, so we gently dander by. And your eyes light up my heart just like the sun. And the way you say my name, oh, you've won. seems so far, where people walk hand in hand and we wish on the same stars. Nobody is watching and no one but to lead, where people come from near and far and no one must be hid.
Great song there from Shannon Weatherup, who joins me now in the studio. Shannon, welcome. Tell us about the first song that you performed there.
The first song that I performed is called Eden, and it's one I wrote last year when I was 16. It was kind of just, I was bored in my room and I wanted to write a song. We just got our GCSE results and I was trying to think of like a concept about trying to find like contentment in your life and all that, and because everyone was like striving for the next thing, and no one was focusing on like they just achieved stuff. So I kind of wanted to focus on that. So I just sat in my room and wrote Eden.
So Shannon, tell us all about you then. How long have you been doing the whole singer-songwriter thing for? I know you started off with, I think it was the Forest Side songwriting thing, didn't you?
I got into music. We've always like been brought up around music. Like mum and dad always played it around the house, and like we were always in like choir and stuff like that. But we were walking up and down the mall in Forest Side one day, and my mum kind of was like, right, that's it. She put me up for an audition to be allowed to be one of the buskers. So I went for it because I was always too shy to do it myself. So mum kind of forced me to do that a little bit. So I'm happy she did. And then people that I listened to would be like McFly, the Beatles, David Bowie, the 1975 recently, I really like. And then the first song that I wrote was a song called Run, and it's not very good at all. It's really cringy. It was like my 13-year-old self being really deep, pretending I've ever been in love. It was not good at all.
So tell me this, Shannon, have you got any new material due out soon? And I suppose you'll want to know as well, where can we go and see you perform?
I'm currently in the Gateway Studios at Forest Side with Matt McIver, working towards an EP. So we're just doing loads of recordings right now. So we're just in the creation process. But hopefully I've got one coming out at the start of next year, I'd like to say, but I can't guarantee. That'd be good. I have to bring my mum everywhere. I can't play in bars without my mum, which is a little bit annoying sometimes, but it's fine because she can get me like a Fanta, so it's good. But yeah, no, I busk around town and then in Forest Side itself, and then the lovely Amy Jardy and AR Music have really helped me out, and they got me gigs supporting a guy called Jared Dickinson in the Accidental Theatre in Shaftesbury Square, so that was really fun. That was really good. And then earlier on in the summer we did Sunflower Fest. That was fun, and then we just did Culture Night. So hopefully I've got more coming up soon.
You're going to perform one more song for us before you go. What are you going to perform this time? Tell us the story behind it.
5 AM, I don't really know where that one came from. It was kind of just, I was in school and I was on my free period, and I was like, I'm going to write a song. So I sat down, and then in school and all, people will give you like opinions about your songs or the fact that you do music, and they feel like you want to know their opinions. So I was just kind of writing a song about, people can say either really nice stuff, but people can also say quite mean or rude or blunt stuff. So I wrote about how that can kind of affect you, and you can be up late to 5 AM thinking about it. So that was the process.
Well, Shannon, thank you for joining us in the studio. And here she is one more time, ladies and gentlemen, Shannon Weatherup.
I'm fine, I sigh, but you look straight in my soul. You know I'm lying, but don't push me to say so. You know my walls are shaking, they're coming down now. It's 5 AM, I can barely get to sleep. My head spins fast, so I just admit defeat. The words they say echo around my mind. One last time I found love where it wasn't supposed to be. I'm an old soldier and squeeze it and say to me, close your eyes and count to 10, just breathe in and start it again. It's just your soul responding to the heavy heart you're holding. I found love wasn't supposed to be. I'm an old soul trapped in a young girl's body. I found us, and my mind won't let it be. You remind me how it feels to breathe. Oh Lord, you found me. Feels to breathe. Oh Lord, you found me. Dum da 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 dum dum da 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 dum dum da 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 dum da da dum dum da da da. Found me. Feels to breathe.
She told me that one song was enough for her. Said it could take her anywhere if I played it right. So I put my heart on the stage and I watched it stare. How those eyes could take me anywhere. I hope you take me home. Darling, it's late and I don't wanna leave without you. I said it's late and I don't wanna leave without you. And I know it's late, but I ain't gonna leave without you. She woke up just around sunrise, wiped the sleep from her eyes, lit a cigarette. 5'4" and drowning in long blonde hair, vision in my underwear, the picks of my guitar. And she sang every word in harmony, and before she turned to go, I cried, it's late, baby, please don't leave without me. And I know it's late, but I ain't gonna leave without you. She said it's late, but I ain't gonna leave without you. She sang every word in harmony, and before she turned to go, I cried, it's late, baby, please don't leave without me. And I know it's late, but I ain't gonna leave without you. She said it's late, but I ain't gonna leave without you. You only get one song and you play it right, and I play mine every night, and hope it's still enough.
So that's a track called Jane from Dean Maywood, who joins me now in the studio. Dean, how are you, sir?
Not too bad, Robin.
Tell us about that song, Jane. Is there a story behind it?
It's kind of a true story. It's about a few embellishments in it. I like to say it's my most rock and roll song. You know, it's about a girl that I met one time. Her name isn't Jane, but we give her the name Jane to cover all identities.
So this is one of the songs that's going to be on your new EP, which I know you're in the studio working on at the minute, aren't you?
Yeah, we're hoping to have it done about a few weeks ago, but I got sick in September and we lost about 3 weeks of recording. But Jane's going to come out as the first single off the EP, and then after that the EP will follow not so long after, hopefully.
So how long have you been doing the whole singer-songwriter thing for now then?
I've been playing music a long time, but I never really did my own music until about, I was always writing in the bedroom and never thought anything about it until I gave in to people saying, you should play those out. So about 3 years ago in earnest, I started showing my own songs to people and going out and playing them and stuff. So about 3 years, it's been a tough old struggle. And
did you come from a musical family?
Yeah, my dad is a guitarist. He played in various bands around Ireland and up and down England and stuff, like Brendan Quinn and Big Tom and Cathy Durkin, those kinds of things. So there was always music in the family. So I think that's how I got started, really. There was always music around. So
the likes of Big Tom and Brendan have an influence on you then?
Definitely, in a way. As I say, when I'm doing the original set, there's only one cover that I put into it, and it's actually one of Brendan Quinn's songs, because it was one of the first songs that I learned, because Dad was in Brendan's band and the tape was in the house, a song called Cowboy Rides Away.
Wow.
And it's always been one of my favourite songs, so now I do my own version of it at my own original gigs.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Now you've worked with some big names as well. I know you've done stuff with Phil Coulter.
Yeah, I supported Phil this year at a gig in Donegal, and also last year. I had done it last year and he was impressed, so he asked me to come back again this year, so that was nice. It was good to see someone from my neck of the woods in the northwest that has done it all, songwriting and music, you know, and it's sort of an inspiration to think, well, just because I'm in the northwest doesn't mean that I'm forgot about, you know, so that was very cool to play.
And of course he's got all those great stories of all those great artists that he's worked with over the years.
Yeah, everything from Elvis to you name it, they're all in there. Phil has a story for it.
You worked with the Four of Us as well?
I did. I played support to the Four of Us about 2 years ago now. Absolutely great guys. It was a pleasure, because I mean them guys have done it all as well, but absolutely lovely people. Not long after I had played with them, I actually met them here in Belfast randomly, and I was up seeing Ryan Adams playing in the Ulster Hall, and I was standing in the bar and I turned around and they were there, and I ended up having a few drinks with them. So lovely guys, really lovely guys. And
coming from Donegal, of course, you must have come across Goats Don't Shave at some stage.
I've played support to them as well, believe it or not. Yeah, Pat Gallagher of Goats Don't Shave has been a huge support in my music career. He's given me a lot of shots for support slots at gigs of theirs and stuff, and helped me get into various radio stations to meet people and things like that. So yeah, Goats Don't Shave are a big influence for sure. So what's the long-term goals now? Where would you love to see yourself? As I say, I've no grand delusions of being a megastar or anything like that. I write songs. I try to be honest in my songwriting and write stuff that is important to me. And if someone else likes it, then I appreciate it. If I'm playing a gig and someone comes up afterwards and says, I really like that song, that's my whole world made. Yeah. Ideally, I would love to have my career that I could just have a living, that I could play music as a job and not have to worry about the bills and stuff at the meantime. In the meantime, I just have a day job and play music as well. But the dream would be to support myself on my own music, you know. Well, the thing that I noticed about the first song that you performed there, it sounded like something that could have been written years ago. Yeah. It was a good crafted song. Yeah, thanks. I think particularly the style of music that I play, it mightn't be popular music, it mightn't be what's trendy or anything. Like my influences, I say, is stuff like Brendan Quinn and that, but like artists, my favourite songwriters and artists were people like John Prine, Jackson Browne, the Eagles, stuff like that. Neil Young. You can hear that kind of darker sound. Yeah. Darker kind of outlaw sound. Hopefully it's kind of it's not what you would call like mainstream country, but there's an element of that sort of dark Americana singer-songwriter stuff in there. So I think, I'm definitely influenced by an older style, so I could definitely see how my stuff would sound older. Brilliant. Do you want to do one more for us now? What are you going to do this time? It's a song called Louisiana. And what's the story behind this? Louisiana it's kind of another true story as well. It's about something that happened to me, but it's a lot less obvious than Jane. It's wrapped up in a metaphor. But it's one, when I play it out live, that people really like it, so hopefully do it now, everyone will like it too. Okay, well Dean, thank you for joining us, and the very best of luck with the EP when it comes out. Cheers, thank you. So here we go with Louisiana. Here is Dean Maywood.
February had me like a train, and I remember the crazy Tuesday nights down by the sea. Now I can see you in my dream. Your moonlit quilt of purple, blue and green, my Louisiana. Louisiana, you feel like sweet morphine in my veins. And come December, I lost sight of how it all began, as you began to strip away the walls that I built for fear of pain, my Louisiana. I found shelter in your arms. I found somewhere safe and free from harm. So when them floods came rushing in, I felt strong enough that I could swim. Louisiana, we both seen our share of hurricanes and stormy weather. You showed me things that I'd feel lost, as I lost hope of finding home. And you, I have a place to call my own, my Louisiana. Louisiana, my Louisiana.